Ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, welcome to the Magic Brad Show here at the World Nurse Center headquarters of the Magic Lounge, a secret location in the western suburbs of Minneapolis. And I've got a fun guest that's going to be on today. This is his product that he's talking about is recognized all over the world. I'm sure you've heard of it. And let's go get him out of the green room here. Here he is, my new friend, Larry Jorgensen.
Hey, Brad, glad to be here.
How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. We just finished one of those new Coca-Cola with coffee. That's pretty good. I'm not an avid Coca-Cola drinker, but that one's pretty good.
A little bit of Coca-Cola. So this is what we're talking about today. This is the author, Larry Jorgensen, of the Coca-Cola Trail. And for those that don't know or didn't read the bio and all that kind of stuff that's been out there, it's like a travel experience. It's a tour, and it's an interesting story of how in the heck did Coca-Cola get started, and where are they now, and how did they do it as a global brand? I remember I took my first vacation out of the country, Larry. It was in Rio de Janeiro, and there were people walking down the Coca-Cola. Suntan oil, Coca-Cola.
There was in Colombia, South America, a couple of years ago, the Coca-Cola bottler down there started as a promotion putting Coca-Cola in frozen bottles. So you had to drink it fast, especially in Colombia, But they did it for about a year. That was a pretty good gimmick.
That's I don't understand. They freeze the Coca-Cola?
They made an ice bottle that looked like.
Oh, the bottle was made out of water.
Right, but frozen into an ice form of a Coca-Cola bottle.
Oh, that's cool.
And they filled it with Coke, and like I say, you had to drink it fast.
I see what you're saying. I thought they put it in the bottle and froze it, but they actually made a frozen ice bottle. That's funny. Hey, you got to get on it.
It was pretty unique, but I would imagine there was a short shelf life on that item.
Well, I think that's the interesting way about going about it is they have to actually drink it, and if they're still thirsty, they got to go get another one. So that's just that's a smart marketing ploy, is what it is. Now, where are you located? You're down in the south part, right?
I am in Louisiana, central Louisiana, on a pretty little bayou where we've had way too much water lately, but that's all right.
Down on the bayou.
You got it, guy. And there's lots of good food and good people here in the south.
Yeah, it seems like you guys know how to have fun.
Excuse me?
You know how to have fun.
Yeah, that's right. Bon temps roulé, right? That's what they say in New Orleans. Bon temps roulé means let the good times roll.
See, I don't know. I've never been to that area. I've never been down to the Mardi Gras or anything yet. I probably do that one of these days.
There's lots of Coca-Cola history down here. In fact, Coca-Cola was first bottled in Vicksburg, Mississippi, not in Atlanta, Georgia. It was bottled. The guy over there was selling the syrup, to use it in the fountains and that. And he thought, if I could bottle this stuff, I could get it out to the country.
If you could bottle it, you can make a fortune.
Yeah, so he started bottling it. He was first, 1895.
Wow.
Coca-Cola thought it was a dumb idea. And it wasn't until 5 years later where they officially authorized the bottling of Coca-Cola. And even then, they said, this is a dumb idea. Asa Candler, who owned Coca-Cola syrup at that time, he said, this is a dumb idea. He sold the rights to bottle Coca-Cola all over the United States, the exclusive rights, for $1. And he told the two guys that bought the rights, if this doesn't work, don't come back to me. I think it's a dumb idea.
Yeah, don't come and ask for your buck back.
Yeah, right. I'm not even sure he collected the $1, but
I love stories like that.
That's really how it started. That's how Coca-Cola started. As far as these guys, the two guys, they're got to be lawyers. They were two young lawyers from Chattanooga, and they go back to Chattanooga and they realize, like the dog chasing the car, we got it. What are we going to do with it? They've got, between the two of them, they got $1,500, but they have to bottle Coca-Cola for the United States.
Right.
How are we going to do this? The light goes on. Today we call it franchising. Sure. They started selling the little pieces of territory that they owned. So if you wanted to bottle Coca-Cola in Minneapolis, they would sell you a 50-mile range for 1,500, whatever. There's a little hook. Of course, when you bottled Coca-Cola, you had to use the Coca-Cola syrup, which coincidentally they were also distributors of. So you would order the syrup from Coca-Cola. They would ship it to you in Minneapolis, and the guys down in Chattanooga would get a commission. So every time you bottled Coca-Cola, you were making the boys in Chattanooga some more money.
Yep, the razor blade technique, kind of like, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And they've always had that signature bottle. It's been
Right.
So what's the difference between, like, everybody talks about the Mexican Coca-Cola versus the regular Coca-Cola?
Well, a lot of people say they like the Mexican better. I think it's the cane sugar is a little bit different down there, and that's what gives it the different flavor. But it's still pretty much to the original formula, and that's the one thing about Coca-Cola. It's consistent. Yeah, I don't care where you go; it's going to have that consistent taste to it, and they remember the mistake when they came out with the new Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
people hated it. The Coca-Cola delivery men were talking about they'd be in the grocery store when the new Coke came out, and little old ladies would come up to them and say, "I want my Coca-Cola back."
I suppose. So yeah, they still at do they still have rival with their competitor?
Oh yeah, that whole thing, the story to the new Coca-Cola. In those days, you may remember there was a thing that Pepsi did. It was the Pepsi Taste Challenge.
Yeah.
And people were sampling Coke and Pepsi, and they were picking Pepsi. And it was driving Coca-Cola crazy.
Okay.
So they said, we have to do something about it. Well, the secret to it was Pepsi's sweeter. Okay. So, and all you get is a little sip of each one.
Mm-hmm.
Your natural reaction is to go with the sweet one. But if you're going to drink a whole bottle, no, you want to go with Coke. But Coke didn't realize why people were picking Pepsi, because it was a little taste, and yeah, it's sweet. We're going to go with that. And because of that particular promotion, Coca-Cola created a whole new Coca-Cola, the new Coca-Cola, which was a total flop. And it took Coca-Cola 2 years to realize they had made a major mistake.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes people talk about competition in business, and I'm more of a collaborator and working together. And I always joke about, there's probably the guy from Coke and the guy from Pepsi in a rowboat fishing, going, "You want to be the number one person, or should I?" I kind of don't care. So is your book basic? Do you have a copy of it you can show?
Sure do. The book is called The Coca-Cola Trail.
Up, they're not on the screen here. Got to slide it over, center it off a little bit, and up. Up. There we go. So it's got a black and white pic. There you go. The Coca-Cola Trail. Perfecto. Okay.
And actually, we've done the one I was showing you is a sequel. We've done two.
Oh,
the Coca-Cola Trail, and that one is called Return to the Coca-Cola Trail, and readily accessible by simply going to the CocaColaTrail.com. A lot of stores that sell memorabilia like Coca-Cola signs and stuff have got the book on sale. It's travel and history. What we've done is we've said, where can you go to see something that was Coca-Cola? We're not talking about Atlanta, Georgia, and then when you get there and you see this, what's the history to it? Maybe it's an old Coca-Cola plant that's now, a brew pub or something.
An event center.
Or there's a couple Coca-Cola plants that are now little museums and so forth. So, and the museums, by the way, also the historical museums, a lot of them have the book for sale in their gift shop. So it's history and it's travel.
Do they actually have like tour operators that do tours of certain facilities, or kind of like Route 66 thing? Can you?
For example, if you go to Chattanooga, everybody see Rock City, right? You see the signs along the road. But places like Rock City, the Incline Railroad, places like that where there's tourist traffic. They sell the book. They will take the time to explain how they're part of the book, and it does enhance the experience totally at that place.
Well, sometimes in like my background is in the event industry, and oftentimes corporations want to take their employees or upper management an incentive for salespeople to perform well, and they give them a trip somewhere, and something like that the event planner would package up, a copy of your book in a little goodie bag, and then they go and they take this tour of whatever wherever it is, and there's a lot of that kind of stuff that happens in the event industry.
Yeah, and I have had some planners contact me, especially planners that were planning to do a convention like in Chattanooga or cities that I've written about in the book. They will contact me and they'll say, "Gee, I'd like to get a couple dozen for our attendees or whatever." So it's a good guide. And I'll tell you another thing. I've had real estate agents that when if they sell a house to somebody from out of town and they're coming to town, they always give them a little gift,
Oh, sure.
And the book is perfect because it tells them something about the town they're moving to.
Right.
If I bought a house in Chattanooga, what else is here? Well, we'll tell you about it in the book,
So that's a good resource for you to sell more books as you hook up with the local real estate association there and give the gift of Coca-Cola Trail.
Yeah, there's the RV people. I had an RV park call me and say they wanted to buy some books for the store, the park store. And I thought, well, that's strange, but yeah, I'd be glad to. I said, why? And they said, because our people travel. They're of the age where they have memories things. Coca-Cola has memories. And next thing I know, I've got the RVers are buying and reading the book. In fact, it's available at the RV Hall of Fame gift shop in Elkhart, Indiana. Get a little, So, it's interesting the different people that find the book of interest because of travel and places, and everybody knows Coca-Cola.
Type in a little thing in here. I can put this up on the screen there. So do you do any speaking engagements or anything? Like get up on the stage and talk to people about all this?
Yeah, the Coca-Cola collectors have an annual convention, and I've spoken at. In fact, this year it's going to be in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, just down the road. It was supposed to be in Green Bay last year, which that's my old stomping grounds in Green Bay, and that football team they got over there. But you guys in Minnesota don't want to talk about that, But
I'm not a football fan. I'm more of a go Vikings and take the Twins with you.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, I speak to those kind of conventions, or I've had some of the little bottlers that'll have a meeting, and will you come up talk? We're going to invite the people in, that type of thing, and it's fun, and you learn something. It never fails. You go to one of those, and somebody will come up. That's why the second book was written. I had people come up to me after they'd read the first book, and they'd say, "But you forgot about."
So, oh yeah, you got to do an addendum.
Yeah, now I got a list of forgot abouts, so I did book number 2.
So here's that's the website where people can find it, right?
Right. CocaColaTrail.com.
Easy enough to remember. Perfecto. So what other kind of things are in the book? You got where it started and where it headed, and you got anything contemporary, like where it is now?
Well, and we tell about why the bottle is green. You mentioned the bottle, and we tell about why the bottle is green. It had to do with the sand that was used to make the bottle. It had a certain copper and some other minerals in it, and when they produced the bottle, it had this light green tint to it. Well, Coca-Cola liked that so well that when other bottling companies were authorized to make the bottle, they said, if your sand doesn't make it green, you have to go get the minerals to make it green. So for a long time, that Coca-Cola green bottle, that was the standard. Now we got plastics and cans, and canning became a real project too for the bottlers, because back about the 70s, I guess it was, the Coca-Cola Corporation told the bottlers, y'all better get ready for cans because we are in a throwaway society and people are tired of hauling bottles back to the store. Well,
Hmm.
for the bottlers, how are we going to can? That's an expensive operation. A lot of them went together and formed canning cooperatives where this one plant would can Coca-Cola for, half a dozen bottlers.
Sure.
Save the expense.
Wow. So I guess I got to ask, is there any truth to the story of the Coke in the Coke?
Well, the Coca-Cola formula came from uh, the cola nut and the coca leaf. Now, when they used the leaf, they did not make cocaine, but because they used the coca leaf, it had originally had a slight effect that the coke would, cocaine would, but it
Sure.
was not a processed cocaine. It was a kind of a residual effect of using the coca leaf. Finally, they got so much grief on that. This was like back in the 30s.
Hmm.
The Coca-Cola just went to the scientists and said, we got to get rid of any trace at all of anything that resembles cocaine in this thing because we're getting too much grief on it. So they got rid of it, and there's
That's what I
nothing,
figured.
but the flavor is still there. And, with synthetic flavors, you can get a flavor for anything. I don't know.
Right.
You could get a cola flavor. It's not gonna be Coca-Cola, but you go to the flavor manufacturers, and you say, I want a cola flavor, I'm gonna make cola candy. They'll send you the flavors. So
I know that some people are very advocate. They're very adamant about what they have, whether it be Coke or Pepsi or whatever. And if they're a Coke person, that's what they have. They stick with it.
well, and it's true. I know people that they gotta have their Coke. If they don't get their Coke, you
Just
hear
like the
about it.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah.
like gotta have a coffee in the morning, gotta have your Coke in the morning. Pretty cool.
It's I'm not a Coca-holic. Like I say, in fact, I've recently fallen in love with this Coca-Cola coffee. That's pretty good. I'll probably a couple cans of that a week. But
Hmm.
I can appreciate people wanting that flavor.
Oh, my wife loves Coke once in a while, Coca-Cola. I quit drinking bubbles quite a while ago because I used to have that upper pyloric movement. I didn't like that when I went to sleep. So I quit anything carbonated anymore. But I used to drink Coke for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing, and Coke has done such a great job in marketing. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
their name is on everything. Yeah, and I tell the story in the book back in, I don't know, the 20s, whatever it was, when Asa Candler was still Mr. Coca-Cola out of Atlanta. You see signs, and my book is all about, in many chapters, is about the Coca-Cola signs, the murals and the signs. They put Coca-Cola on everything. He was in Hollywood, and he boldly stated to the movie producers in Hollywood, someday, very soon, you will not be able to make a movie outside without there being a Coca-Cola sign in the background. And he
Hmm.
came pretty close with that one. But their marketing's amazing. Coca-Cola is on any product you can think of. They've got their logo on it, and
Yep.
it works.
And those commercials, around Christmas time with the polar bears and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, the polar bears, and now they got the big trucks. The decorated trucks that come into town. It's putting. The Coca-Cola logo. Um, there's an artist in Minnesota that actually changed the logo just a little bit, and we write about that in the second book.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Minnesota's got some Coca-Cola history.
his name is Les Kuba, Kouba. He was from Minnesota, I think the Hutchinson area. He became an internationally famous wildlife artist, but he started out painting Coca-Cola signs on the sides of buildings and trucks and whatever. He went to Tifton, Georgia, to do a Coca-Cola sign on a ballpark wall. And the local bottler had hired him, and he got there and he said, I've done this Coca-Cola logo so many times, it needs a little help. And the bottler said, well, go ahead, do what you want to do. So he added just a little depth to it, a little, shading, put it on the wall. The bottler was so impressed, he called Coca-Cola in Atlanta, said, you guys got to come see this. They went up to see it. They came back 2 days later, got old Les aside and gave him some nice check and a contract and said, this will be our logo from here on out. And your Minnesota boy changed the Coca-Cola logo, and very few people realize that.
We got some talent up here with Prince and Bob Dylan and who else knows? Charles.
Lots of talent.
Yeah. Well, Larry, this has really been fun. I don't like to do these too long. I like to keep them condensed so people can consume them. And this is how you get a hold of your book. And if someone wants to hire you for a speaking engagement, or if they want to learn more about how to conduct a trail or a tour of the trail, that's how they get a hold of you, right?
You got it. And I've enjoyed it, Brad. Been a lot of fun. And next time you have a Coke, talk about us.
I certainly will. I'm going to pop you in the green room. And like I said, there's some digital hors d'oeuvres back there if you want to help yourself. We've even got some filet mignon skewers. Very good.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Brad.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, that was Larry with the Coca-Cola Trail. Where is that letter? Larry Jorgensen with the Coca-Cola Trail. And his website to find him is theCoca-ColaTrail.com. You can find him and you can get his books. You can use his books for gifts for corporate groups, or if you want to do a tour, I'm sure he could help you direct you to the right people to set that up. So that's all I've got for now. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good. Be safe. Be kind.